in this program, I just typed what I'm going to do here. I'm going to use a compound operator to see if you qualify for a loan. And to qualify for a loan, you got to have at least an income larger than $35,000, or you've been working for at least 5 years. And if you do qualify for the loan, the next question is, are you going to live in this house, and is this your first home? If the answer is yes to both of them, we're going to deduct 0.25 from the interest rate. Now, I'm not going to calculate anything after. I just want to show you how to use the compound operator. So I'll use a scanner here to make my life easy. Well, I don't know if we'll make it easy, but import scanner, import java dot util dot scanner. And let me add here. I quickly jump here and put this line so I don't forget about it. Scanner. I'm going to call it input device. Input device equals new scanner system.in. So I'm going to ask you for the interest rate. I'm going to ask you for the number of years of service. I'm going to ask you, is this your first home? I'm going to ask you, are you going to live in the house or not? So let's begin with the income. Income and number of years, both are decimal values. So double years / income. First time homeowner. And I should also ask for the interest rate too. Let's put the rate here too. Interest rate. So you're first time homeowner and you're going to live in the house. So, okay, these characters maybe CHAR. Or I can use Boolean, true, false. You know what? I'll make one of them character. I'll make the other one Boolean, just to be different. I'm going to call it first. That means first time. First home. Call it first home. That's a character. And the second one, first home. Okay, I'll make a character. I mean, yes, no. I meant to say Boolean. The next one is Boolean. True, false. Live. You're gonna live in it, you know. Let's call it, is it for rental or live in it? Let's say rental. Is it for rental? And that's Boolean. If it says false is not for rental, then it's to live in it, you know. You can call it anything you want to call it. Try to think of something. So let's get these values. Let's get the number of years first. And let's get the first two before we ask you to live in it. Because if you don't qualify for the loan, again, why waste your time? So let's get the income. I use a variable income. Did I use income? Yeah, income equals input device, because I'm going to be using the input device for that one. I use lowercase, I think, input, yep. Device. And that one is going to be what? It's actually, I forgot to say, it's double value. So let me put next double. Dot next double. This is that number we're going to read is actually a decimal value. Well, that looks stupid actually. I forgot to put something before it. And a couple of things. Let's get income here and years. Years on the job. I said it looks stupid because I never asked the user, like, let me run it, show you why I'm saying it's stupid. Run it. And I'm running the program, and I'm asking to read a value, but it's not reading the value. So what I need to do, because there's nothing here showing like on the screen telling me, hey, input a value there. So what I want to do here, sys-o, let me just tap it a little bit there. Sys-o, enter the income, enter your income. Maybe I'll put a $sign so you can type the income next to it. And I'll use print instead of print line to keep it on the same line again. And let's save this one. Run it. And notice now it comes out, enter your income. And I can type in the income, $44,219. And it takes that number. It's going to take that number, put in income. So that's a little bit nicer. At least I see that and I can type something there. Next one, I'm going to say enter years on the job. How many years have you been working? Again, I can how many years have you been working? Question mark here and a space so you can put next to it, and this will be the years, and I use for that years, so I'll get the number of years. So let's save this one and run it to see if it does what it's supposed to do. Enter your income. Again, you got to click down here, otherwise see the I-beam is right there. It's going to type the number there, so go right here, $55,219. How many years have you been working? 6 years. And if that's the case, then you really qualify for the loan. So now I'm going to tell the machine my discount, what was it? So if that number is true here, so if what? If the income I read is greater than, it says greater than or equal to 35,000. I'm a huge fan of parentheses, but I won't put them there. Or, not I, or, that's the two lines straight up there, right under the delete. Or what? The years, I called years, is greater than 5. If either one of them is true, so your income could be below that, but the years have to be bigger than that. Or both could be true, but at least one of them has to be true for that statement to be true. So if that's the case, we know you qualify for the loan. So let's ask you if you're going to live in the house. So sys-o, is this your first home? First home. And to make sure they know what I'm saying, so maybe I'm going to tell them to insert y/n. And I'm going to read that. So that's a character here. Home is a character. So it's first home equals now a character is different when you go to read it. Notice I can type in, it's a character. I want it to go in this location, first home. So I typed in first home here, equals, and I want to tell them to take the character here. Well, the character is coming from the input device. That's my scanner. Dot. I can type in next and parentheses. But now when you say next, that takes the whole thing. It's like a string of things, but the way the machine saves character or strings, the first location goes in location 0, then the next one location 1, then location 2, then location 3, then location 4. So I got to put dot char character at location 0. 0, not O. Has. I don't know why it keeps changing the next to has next. Next. At location 0. So you can type in more than one character. You can type in a string there, but as long as the first letter there is going to be, for example, it's going to take whatever the first letter and put it in first home. So if I run this program and I write Z there, enter your income, 50,000. Enter the number of years of working, 30 years. And is this your first home, yes or no? And I go and I type in Z here. Maybe I should put a space. It's going to take the letter Z now and puts it in this location, first home. Only the first letter, because in location 0. The first letter always in location 0. The second one location 1. The next one is location 2, location 3, and so forth. And again, I'll do print instead of print lines. So they'll be on the same line. It looks nicer. So that will read that. Next, we need to read the Boolean, the rental. Is this for rental? So let's see. System. Sys-O, I guess I don't have to write the whole thing. Sys-O. Are you going to live in this house? To live in the house. And to let them know this is a true, false. So just type in true/false. So they know to write one or the other. So I'll take this one out. So type in true, false there. And again, make it print instead of print lines. So it'll be on the same line. And now let's read that one. And I call that rental the property. Rental equals input device. Capital D. I'm going to change. Going forward, I'm going to use 2 letters for each input device. I don't want to have to write all the stuff here. Dot next Boolean. I don't want the has there. Go away, has. Next Boolean. Here we go. Has next Boolean. And that will read that as true/false. So now, earlier I said what we're going to do here. If the income is more than this in 5 years, so in this case, you made it here. Your income is more than 35, or you've been working more than 5 years. Use the AND statement to see if it is first home and will live there for at least, and live there. So here we go. Check to see if what? So we know you qualify for the loan, but the question now is first home, and that's what? True, false, or yes, no? I told him yes, no, equal to yes. What happens if you put lowercase y? So if you really want to cover for that, you can do this compound statement, put parentheses here, really ugly statement, or, oh, I want to go here, or first home, just in case somebody type in lowercase, equals lowercase. Notice if it's a string, is always single quotation. If it's first home equals this, or equals to that, and so if it's your first home, and we said, what was the rental? You're going to live in it. Are you going to live in the house? Rental is true. You're going to live in it. Well, rental, I should have changed the question. Is this a rental property? True, false. Because I'm talking about rental. It sounds silly here. So if it's not rental, you're going to live in it. Is this a rental property? So, and here we go. Another condition here. I can put, well, I don't need actually this one. I can, and what? Rental equals false. Now we just need to make sure all the open brackets have a closing ones. This one on the left being closed with this one. So this is one, this is or this. So as long as one of these, you have a capital Y or a small y, it doesn't really matter. And rental equals false. It's not for rental. Then what do you want to do? Then the rate, what did we call the rate? Did we get the interest rate? Did I get the rate? I never got the rate, right? So let's ask for the interest rate. SysO, enter the interest rate. And again, I'll go with, and let's read the rate. And I think I called it rate, the variable. Rate equals double, the interest rate will be double, dot, next double. And I was going to change it now to has double. Here we go. Rate is double, double dot, oh. Oh, never mind. I'm just thinking of the other input dialog boxes. That's what I'm thinking about. So I got to type in here input device dot, and it should say next double here, and that will read that for me. So I'm looking at this one, didn't like this one. First home, something is not right. Let's see. Multiple mark. So a lot of times when I see stuff like, oh, I know why. That should be a single quotation. That's a character. Character is always single quotation. String is double quotation. If the first home is capital Y or small y, it doesn't really matter. And rental is false. You're not going to rent it. Don't put a semicolon here. Put a semicolon, we're in trouble. Let the rate now, because you get discount, equals rate minus 0.25. Decimal value. Here we go. And let's print the rate. We'll test the program to see it's going to print the rate. So this section, get the values. This section checks to see if income is bigger than 35,000 or work for at least 5 years. That's what this section does. Once we know it's true here, if this is true here, so to get to this statement, that means that condition above is actually true. That tells you that's true here. If it's true, then let's check and see. Let's get the other values. If it's false, why waste? Values. Now here, check to see first time buyer, and live in the house, not for rent or to live in. You know, live in it. And if this is when it's true, you lower the interest rate. True statement. And if it's false, then you pay the other rate. What happens, or is my else statement, what happens if your income is not bigger than this? So it's only true if these two guys are true. I mean, one of them is true. What about if your income is less than that, or you've been working less else here? You didn't meet the criteria. That means your income is not more than this, and you've been working for less than 5 years. And again, sys O for that one. Sorry, again. What happens? You don't meet the requirement. And that should be it, hopefully. Let me save it and run it. Enter your income, 20,000. Number of years you've been working, 2 years. Oh, you don't meet the requirement. Your income is 40,000. And you have been working for 12 years. Now enter the interest rate. We'll say 5. Is this your first home? Yes. I'm going to write yes. Is this a rental property? False. So my interest rate now should be 4.75 based on this. I never actually asked to print it. I forgot to show you that. So here we go. If that's the case, lower the interest rate. Well, actually leave it. Don't use the curly bracket. Leave it. And just go right after that. sys O print line what your double quotation, your interest rate is, and let's put the rate. Up. So notice here, this statement goes with that one, only if the interest rate, otherwise the rate stays the same, whatever it used to be. Whatever you type in, that's the value. Only if this is true, we'll lower it by 0.25. So let's save it and run it now. Again, you made 50,000 and you lived in that, again, been working for 15 years. That's good. And enter your interest rate, we'll say 5%. You're gonna live in, is this your first home? Yes. Are you gonna live in this? Is this for rental? False. And my interest rate should be now 4.75. Here we go. Your interest rate is 4.75. Now, if I run the program, my income is 75,000. How many years been working? 19 years. What's the interest rate? 5.25. Is this your first home? Yes. But are you going to live in it? False. I'm going to rent it. It's for investment. So I'm not going to get the discount of 0.25. My interest rate should be 5.25. Uh-oh. If this... Oh, you know what? I need another set of parentheses here. Nope, actually... And false. Let me just look at the parentheses here. And rental equals false. Do that. Oh, I should say rental is true. That's why. You're going to rent it. Yep, that's correct. Yep. Are you going to rent it? True. Again, I'm getting tired. 70,000. How many years have you been working? 19 years. Interest rate 5. Is this your first home? Yes. You're gonna rent. Is this for rental? True. This is for rental. And now my interest rate should be 5. Yep. Because there's no break on it because it is for rental. So that's how you use the compound statement, or and. And notice I put parentheses here. It says do this first order of operation. That will give me a true or false based on if you typed in capital Y or lowercase y. Then it checks it and. If you didn't put this here, then it gets a little bit tricky because once you put the parentheses, you force them to do this one first. And that's the end of this one.